Hey guys, it's Doodle, and today I'm going to talk about how I got over the fear of riding. And I'm going to admit something to you guys. I used to be pretty terrified of getting on my own bike. I would just get really scared easily anytime I saw another car, or just scared to go over 25 miles an hour, scared to go on roads like I'm on now, scared to go on the highway. Whenever I talk about that, it seems like there are a lot more people that feel the same way. So I'm just going to tell you guys how I got over that and how I'm now riding on whatever road I want, whatever highway I want, whenever I want, without fear. So for about the first month or two that I had my bike, I did not leave the parking garage. I would get on it and I would just turn it on. I would just play with the friction zone in that like little foot of space that I had. I would play with all the buttons and just to make sure I knew where all the controls were. And I did that at least once a week for just a month or two. Plus it was too cold anyways to ride, but I was also too scared. So after I got comfortable just turning the bike on and using the controls, since before the MSF course I had no experience on anything like that before. Once I got comfortable with that, then I started taking my bike to a parking lot next door. I just practiced in parking lots, and again it was winter, so it was still pretty cold to ride out anyways, so I just stuck to parking lots. I literally just rode around in a parking lot as much as I could, and I would get so scared if there was a car not like 30 feet away from me that was coming at 5 miles an hour just because there was a car there. Every time I would see a car, my heart would race. But eventually, as I was in the parking lots, my heart stopped racing every time I saw a car, and then I moved to neighborhoods. And the first time I went 30 miles an hour was incredible. I felt like a bullet. But I stuck to that. I stuck to just the neighborhood right by my apartment, so there wasn't a lot of traffic. I was only going about 30 miles an hour max, and I did that for a while until I was comfortable too. And then eventually I started taking riding classes about an hour away, so I would trailer my bike, and then one day my transmission failed and I couldn't trailer my bike, but I had to get to the class, and the class was very far away. I had never ridden outside of neighborhoods, so that was the first time I rode on the highway. Not because I was ready, but because I had a choice. Either I can skip the class, or I could suck it up and ride on the highway and get to class. So that was my first time on the highway. And then after I did the highway, I was like, that's okay, that wasn't so bad. It was also the morning when I rode over there, but it wasn't terrible. So I did that again and again, and it got less scary. So basically, the way I got over the fear of riding was I didn't push myself. I didn't rush myself. Riding my bike in a parking lot when I had never ridden before was still so much fun. Riding my bike in a neighborhood when I had never ridden before was still a lot of fun. So I didn't feel like I was missing out by taking it so slow. And I bet I got a lot more practice and confidence, so that's never a bad thing to wait for. And some of the next steps, like getting on the highway, it wasn't because I was ready and I thought, okay, time to ride on the highway. It was because I thought, well, I don't want to miss my riding class, so I better just suck it up. And I did it. So basically, I think the key to getting over the fear of riding is to not push yourself. If you want to take 8 months riding in a parking lot, you go ahead and do it. You do what you want. And anyone that's trying to push you is an idiot. Because if you're not comfortable riding somewhere and you do it, just being scared and uncomfortable, you are increasing your risk of getting in an accident or making a mistake or panicking. Anyways, I hope that helps. Just remember, hey buddy, don't push yourself. And if someone else is trying to push you, don't listen to them. Thanks for watching. Bye. America.